Very warm evening to each one of you. Thank you so much for coming here and joining us on a weekend. We have our speaker Anurag ji with us, and we are starting the session just now. So, today's session is all about compliance in the new economy, opportunities, challenges, and realities for startups, MSMEs, e commerce, and the gig ecosystem. Let me introduce our speaker to you very quickly. So, yeah. Anurag
Thank you.
Sharma is the founder of Taxellence Consultant India Private Limited, a Gurgaon-based advisory and compliance firm working at the intersection of taxation, regulatory strategy, and business advisory. With extensive experience in startup advisory, and financial structuring, he works closely with startups, MSMEs, and emerging digital businesses to help them navigate India's evolving regulatory landscape. Through Taxellence, he has built scalable compliance practices across multiple industries. Through Taxellence, he has involved in supporting businesses in various areas such as corporate structuring and virtual while managing the complexities of GST, MCA regulations, and financial governance. Today, he will share insights on how compliance is shaping the future of startups, MSMEs, e-commerce, and the highlighting both the opportunities and the regulatory challenges facing startups and MSMEs. So,
Time. Before I start, Ridhima, would you share the presentation or how you are going to do that?
yes, and
Guys, give me a time. Okay, in the meantime, let's start. You know, what we say, sort of an. Tell me what kind of an entity you have and in which domain you are. Okay, so accordingly, we
I would request आप थोड़ा so that everyone will be able to hear you better.
uh, guys, any I can't see anything. Are you listening? Are you able to hear me out? Okay. Ridhima, you have to share the presentation. I'm unable to do that. Technical reason might be there.
All right, give me some time. I'll just share it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, about your question, आज जो businesses हमारे साथ आए हैं उनका structure क्या है क्या आप
Otherwise, there would be a red check, there would be a penalty, and in future the funding parts also get impacted.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Is
you.
there anything else?
Nothing as of now. Like if something comes up, I'll ask you.
Sure. So
Yeah.
let's start with
Thank you.
it. Okay. So as we know, see, the thing is, startups, MSME, and e-commerce. These are the new economy part. Okay, these are the new economies. It's a digital economy. I consider it as a digital economy in which these are four major factors. Okay, for example, digital startups. Okay, like fintechs, and now AI is also there. Okay, then we have MSME innovations, e-commerce, marketplaces. Okay, Amazon is there, Meesho is there. Okay, then we have some local who are coming up every now and then. They have a company who is coming into the e-commerce, registering as a e-commerce and going with the Amazon and publishing their articles on the big giants. Then we have a gig workforce like Zomato, Uber, okay, and then Zepto, whatever it is. So it contributes 30% of our GDP. Okay. Now, if we say what is a compliance? Compliance is just a simple thing. It's rules and regulation and standardized policies that has been applied for a business, persons, or an organization, which you have to obey. It's a kind of a law which we have to obey. Otherwise, you will get ethically penalized. Okay, and sometimes it can go the wrong side as well, like going to serious on a serious matter into the legal path. Okay, there are five types of business structures. Okay, sole proprietorship, OPC. Okay, then we have partnership firm, then we have LLP, okay, limited liability partnership, and then we have private limited firm. Okay, most of what India is doing is India is focusing on the funding part, and they are going with the private limited. Okay, most of the companies, if you go with the flow in the market, most of the companies would suggest you to go with the private limited firm, as you know, it is much more easier to obtain the entity, but it is harder on the compliance part. There are multiple things that you have to focus on when you are going with the private limited firm. Okay, like you have to get GST license. You have to specifically get the license for the specific requirement of your entity or your business. Then you have to go with the ROC, LOC filing, GST filing. Then the labor law comes into effect, and every you say every water regulatory authority in India would be applicable on the private limited firm. You can't say that no, I'm an OPC, it won't be impacted on me. No, everything would be impacted. Every law, every compliance would be there for the private limited firm. And once you go with that, you there are almost like 100 and 1400 or 1500 compliance checks that we have to do it. Okay, and accordingly we have to work it out. Like, so for example, let's say for a business structure, um, liability is as a person, it's unlimited liability for a sole proprietorship. Okay, setup is easy, just MSME registration and shopper's license or some sort of that where you are opening it. That's it. GST Act is there, and ITR returns are there as a compliance part. Funding would be very low. Most of the funders or VCs or angel investors try to avoid this kind of business structure. Okay, for upscaling part, you have to get your GST returns up to the mark and the trade license up to the mark. Okay, now when we go to one person company, like there is a one person who is trust or something like that. Okay, it's a limited to the investment part. Okay, separate from the owner. Yes, it is totally separated from the owner. In sole proprietorship, you own the every wrong or right, you own it. In OPC, it is totally separated. You are have a liability, but not that much, limited to the investment part only. Okay, Setup and compliance part is very moderate. You can do it. Again, fund if you are going for a fundraising in one-person company, you will have a difficulty. Okay, and basically it's for a solo founder, like a person who has only one person who he can trust, so he can go with that. But again, as I've told you, the compliance part comes into effect. AOC, MGT 7, INC 228. These are the ROC filings that needs to be done in one-person company, because our MCA treated as a company. It would be treated as a private limited company, but with a certain criteria, with extended thing that it is a one-person company. Only one person is liable, and he has to follow the rules of MCA. Okay, mandatory. If you say the upscaling part, you have to go with 2 CR and about turnover. You have to show that in 2 CR in your books that you have a turnover of 2 CR and above. Okay, you can't say that on the valuation part it won't be considered on the valuation, but you have to go with the turnover. You have to show the turnover to the books to the investor, then only he would invest. But again, as I've told you, it would be very much difficult prospect to go with this one PC and get the funding out of it. Third entity is a partnership firm. Basically, 2 people can start, max 20 people. Okay. Unlimited. See, liability is on a person-to-person basis. Okay. Setup is easy, nothing to worry about. Okay. Fundraising, again, very difficult because it's a partnership, and how you are going to give them vesting rights, and how you're going to show them that you are going on our side. You can't give them the rights. Okay, in this you have to see a person who is giving fund to you has some sort of an onus on the company, that I have given you this much fund, so I should have a say on it. But in a partnership firm, no, you can't do it. You have to make him a partner, and then he would invest. So it's a kind of a partnership investment. So it's not a regular investment that you're looking for. Okay. Basically, this kind of a partnership firms is best for the trust who are looking for the trust. They want to open a trust, and HNI is mostly open that, and multiple founders. Like we have a family of 8 people, and all of them want to be a founder in that. You can open a partnership firm. Okay. When it comes to the funding part, okay, you have to convert it into the LLP, limited liability partnership. Then only you will get some sort of a benefit from what we say VCs and angel investors or the bankers, because you have to show your deed registration, PAN card, GST, and income tax return. Okay, as I told you, it is quite difficult, but you can try your luck. Okay, mandatory scaling in some states is that you have to on a yearly basis or 2 yearly basis, you have to renew your deed. Okay, depending on state to state. Okay, and basically you will get Dwarka. You were saying something about that. MSME lending. Basically, MSME would firms like a small NBFC would be giving you the funding part. Okay. Now we come to the limited liability, okay, partnership. It is similar to the partnership, but they have certain criteria. Like you have a max limit of 20 people. Here you don't have a limit on that. Yes, it is separated legal entity from the partners, okay, because it's a limited liability, as the word says, limited liability. So you have a liability towards the contribution, what you are contributing, and if you are getting the fund, that up to that mark you have the liability. Okay, setup is moderate. Okay, again, as it's a limited liability partnership, so regular investors and virtual capitalists, okay, and angel investors would try to avoid it. Okay, now for the funding part, you have to go through the ROC form 8 and 11. and there would be an audit trail of 40 lakh and above if turnover touches 40 lakh and above. Okay, you will get registered. When you get registered on DDIIT, you will get a tax holiday as well. Okay, mandatory. If you're going for an upscaling, you have to show partner KYC. Okay, and it is an easier way to convert into private limited fund. Okay, it is much more easier to convert LLP into private limited fund, and you will get the benefit of private limited fund as well. So now, if I go to the private limited fund, the last and the most important, and I prefer to go with that. I prefer my clients who are coming to us in a for a consultation and for the advisory part. We first of all listen to what is their business idea, what they have in mind, and then we suggest. So basically, what we suggest is that go for the private limited firm. Yes, the compliance part is very much difficult in this. Very high complexity is there in this, but we are there to assist you. Okay, minimum 2 members are required. 2 directors should be there. Okay, then only you can go for it. And 200 plus shareholder, you go to approximately 200 shareholders, you can get it. Okay. Liability is to the share capital. What would be your share capital? It can be 50,000, it can be 1 lakh. It totally depends on how you want to go it. Okay. Most preferred in the funding part, mostly preferred by the VCs. Once you go in the market and say, I need a fund, the first thing you say, I'm a private limited firm. So they would like to hear it out. What is your criteria and what do you want exactly? They will hear you out. Okay, it is faster scalable. Okay, and yes, for funding you have a certain due diligence that you need to do. Again, ROC filing, DPIIT, ESG. Okay, then you have a tax audit which is mandatory, statutory audit which is mandatory. Okay, and that is where the startups, keep their hands out. They don't. They are scared of it. Then when you say there would be an audit, if you are earning a zero income or if you are earning, let's say, 50 rupees or 0 rupees, you have to do an audit on an annual basis. There is no if and buts on that, and that is a major thing. Now what happens is in India market, what I have seen, if I compare with the European market where I have worked with. Okay, what happens in India? There are a lot of companies which are popping up like mushrooms, and they say we will open your private limited firm on 1,500 rupees or 1,600 rupees or 4,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees. Okay, they would not share you the compliance part. What are the compliance part? And then when you register yourself as a private limited firm, and then you go with, ask them, then okay, now you have to do the compliance part. Okay, then they would ask you a hefty amount. Instead of showing it in front of you that this pay 4,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, hardly matters. The major thing is that you have to go with the compliance. So all the startup companies, founders, entrepreneurs, even if you are not a startup, if you are older, you have to be what we say into the informative part of what your CS, CA, or legal team or accounting team is doing. You have to keep a check on them. Okay. Why do is the filing part? Sometimes what happens, if you have seen the cases that many CAs are barred from the ICI because of the malpractices. Okay, I have seen many CAs. Many MSMEs where the GST login ID password has been accessed by the CA. Now CA has gone, and companies are suffering because of that. So you have to go to the GST department and go through that and each and everything. That is a total separate and anything, but you have to be aware what is going on, how it is going on. So if you have any question,
We are seeing a few questions right now. If you have a question, please raise your hand.
I think one person named Dwarka was saying something like that.
Yes, you can go ahead, Dwarka. Please ask your question. Can you please unmute yourself and ask the question?
What is the mandatory funding? Mandatory funding is like you have to. There are certain aspects that is required for the funding part. When the company do see, you have a private limited firm, or what kind of a firm you have? What kind of startup you have? You can unmute yourself and speak. No worries. Okay, let's say for example you have a private limited firm. Okay, so when you go for the funding part, the private limited firm, no, I don't have any company. Okay, so let's say for example I start with the. I will give you an example of a one-person company. Okay, and I will give you an example of private limited firm. Let's start with one-person company. Okay, in one-person company, what options do you have? See, in one-person company, you have nothing. You have your shop act, okay, GST, and income tax returns. This is the basic thing. Okay, whereas if you go with what we say private limited firm, you have MOC, ROC, your accounting billing. Okay, then you have a due diligence in which everything shareholder everything would be done. So it is mandatory for BC to do the due diligence. Okay, so there are certain aspects which are mandatory for the funding part. So mandatory funding means that you have to go through these set of rules that has been set by the investors, that you have to follow them and give proper information to them so they can check it out and give a befitted reply. It might be yes, it might be no. They might be inviting you for the further grading. They might be happy with what the books you have shared to him, and you will get the funding. So there are certain rules that need to be followed in the due diligence. That is a mandatory funding part. Okay, I believe I answered your question.
Yes, Anuragji. So I
Okay.
think we can move ahead and we'll take questions. You can put them in the chat meanwhile,
Okay.
if anyone has a question.
So now I come to the stages that there are 10 stages of compliance in India. Okay, let's start with stage one, like pre-incorporation. You have to choose what kind of entity you have. Then you go with the registration part. Then you go with the PAN and TAN draft. And if you're going with the private limited, then you have to draft an MOA and AOA, memorandum of articles and articles of articles, MSME, ODM registration, and GST registration setup. This is basically what a pre-incorporation means. Okay. Then comes the second stage. When your company, your entity is registered with the government, then you come to the second part, GST registration. If you have a turnover, please be focused on the word that I'm saying. GST registration for a metropolitan, it is 40 lakhs. Okay, and for non-metropolitan, it is 30 lakhs. Most of the people do is that they do the GST registration irrespective of their turnover. So what, you get into the compliance of the GST, and now GST, you have to file GST on a monthly and a weekly, monthly and a quarterly and annual basis. You have to do it. Once you are registered, you have to do it, whether you are earning 1 rupee or whether you are earning 20 lakh rupees in a tier 2 or a tier 3 town. And if you are yeah, Abhishek.
If we have an interstate sale, then in that scenario, we have to do the GST registration or not? Is it a mandatory thing?
Yes, it's a mandatory. Interstate, it's a mandatory.
Okay.
As per the, in which state you have registered yourself?
I currently registered in actually UP, that Ajamgarh, but we are basically focusing on metropolitan cities like Delhi, Pune. We are basically focused on this metropolitan cities only.
Yeah, so the best thing is that you do I believe you would get a turnover of 20 lakh annually in 6 months or so. I am 100% sure in the market which you are in FMCG, you will get it. So I would suggest you that go with the GST registration. 20 lakh is the minimum criteria for you as you are from the Azamgarh. So it would be a 20 lakh criteria. You have to go with the registration part. Do it. Okay. The second licensing thing is the Shop and Establishment Act. It depends on the state to state. There are certain fee that you have to do it. It depends on state to state. FSAI license is for the food and other businesses. Okay, anything which is related to the food thing, you have to get into the FSAI license. Now there would be certain changes in upcoming months, 2 or 3 months. There would be certain changes in the license. Please get updated on that. Okay, if you are in real estate, you have to be a RERA registered entity. You have to get that as well. If you are into an export and import, you have to get that. Okay, no problem. So if you are into an import and export, you have to go with the import-export license, RBI approval for fintechs and NBFC, and drug license into the pharma companies. So I will do it again. The thing is, कुछ कंपनियां ऐसी हैं जो जब आप कंपनी रजिस्टर करा लेते हो अपनी, वंस यू आर रजिस्टर्ड विद द कंपनी, तो जैसे आपने अपनी कंपनी रजिस्टर करी, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड है, ओपीसी है, कुछ भी हो, आपने कंपनी रजिस्टर करी, उसके बाद आपको लाइसेंस की जरूरत पड़ेगी. ठीक है. अगर आपका टर्नओवर 20 लाख का है और आप टीयर 2 और टीयर 3 कैटेगरी की सिटीज में वर्क कर रहे हो, तो आपका टर्नओवर 20 लाख का है. वो क्राइटेरिया आप जैसे ही मैच करोगे, आपको जीएसटी का लाइसेंस लेना पड़ेगा. जैसे मान लीजिए आपने 19 लाख की टर्नओवर करा एक साल में, आपके पास लाइसेंस होना चाहिए. ये मैं आपको इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ ताकि जैसे ही आपने 19 लाख करा, आप एकदम उसके रडार में आ जाओगे जीएसटी की, 19 लाख का टर्नओवर दिखा रहा है, हो सकता है प्लस माइनस 1.5 लाख के ऊपर नीचे करे. आपके पास जीएसटी रजिस्ट्रेशन होगा, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. वो आपकी बुक्स देखेंगे, बुक्स के बाद वो आपका जो आप फाइल करोगे उसके बेसिस पे वो हो जाएगा. ठीक है. ऐसे ही शॉप एंड एस्टेब्लिशमेंट एक्ट होता है, हर स्टेट का अलग होता है. ठीक है. आपने ऑफिस खोला है, उसके लिए एस्टेब्लिशमेंट एक्ट का लाइसेंस चाहिए होता है. आपने अगर कोई शॉप ली है, ठीक है, जैसे लेट्स से एफएमसीजी की शॉप है या कपड़ों की दुकान है, तो उसके लिए शॉप का लाइसेंस हो रहा है, वो चाहिए होता है. स्टेट टू स्टेट डिपेंड करता है. खाने का अगर किसी भी चीज से, लेट्स से आप दूध से लेकर आप प्रोसेस फूड तक कुछ भी कर रहे हो, आपको एफएसआई का लाइसेंस चाहिए होता है. ऐसे ही कंस्ट्रक्शन से रिलेटेड आप कुछ भी कर रहे हो, आपको रेरा का चाहिए ही होगा लाइसेंस. क्यों? आपने जैसे मटेरियल प्रोवाइड करा रहे हो तो नहीं चाहिए होगा, लेकिन अगर बिल्डिंग बना रहे हो या एक मकान भी बना रहे हो, आपको रेरा रजिस्ट्रेशन करवा लो, बेस्ट रहेगा. कोई हैसल नहीं होगी, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. थोड़ा सा होता है, देखिए गवर्नमेंट है, गवर्नमेंट के रूल्स एंड रेगुलेशन चेंजेस होते रहते हैं, तो वो आप उसमें रहेंगे तो बेटर रहेंगे. पता चला आज नहीं है, कल आ गया, तो फिर वो प्रॉब्लम हो जाती है. तो बेटर आप ये करें. इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट वाले जितने भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स हैं, उनको मैं यही कहूँगा, आप लाइसेंस ले लें एज सून एज यू गेट योर बिजनेस एंटिटी रजिस्टर्ड. ओके. आप उसको कह सकते हो जिससे भी आप बिजनेस एंटिटी अपनी रजिस्टर करा, भाई मेरे साथ में इम्पोर्ट एक्सपोर्ट के ये लाइसेंस चाहिए. एनबीएफसी हो गया, फिनटेक हो गया, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज से कोई रिलेटेड कोई भी काम है, आपको आरबीआई अप्रूवल चाहिए होगा. उसका क्राइटेरिया थोड़ा डिफरेंट है. मैं आपको बता दूं, वो एक ऐसी चीज है कि आपको थोड़ा सा कैपिटल अपना रखना पड़ेगा अपने पास. 50 to 60 लाख के आसपास आपको कैपिटल रखना पड़ेगा उसके लाइसेंस के लिए. ऐसे ही सेबी का है. अगर आप शेयर मार्केट, डिबेंचर्स या इनमें से किसी चीज में भी कर रहे हैं, तो आपको उसका रखना पड़ेगा. लाइसेंस के लिए भी, इंश्योरेंस के लिए भी आपके पास लाइसेंस होना चाहिए. तो ये वो चीजें हैं. ड्रग लाइसेंस जो फार्मा से रिलेटेड है, मेडिसिन से रिलेटेड है, कोई सी भी मेडिसिन से रिलेटेड आप काम कर रहे हो, आपके पास लाइसेंस होना चाहिए. ठीक है. अब हम आते हैं टैक्स कंप्लायंस स्टेज 3. ये आपकी एंटिटी बन गई, आपने लाइसेंस ले लिया, अब आप बिजनेस कर रहे हो. अब आते हैं कि जैसे 31 मार्च आ रही है, अब आपका फाइलिंग का पार्ट आ गया, इनकम टैक्स. ठीक है. देखिए जिन्होंने फर्स्ट 6 मंथ्स में करा है, ठीक है, जिन्होंने फर्स्ट 6 अभी लेट्स से नवंबर दिसंबर में या जनवरी में, जैसे अभिषेक ने अपनी कंपनी रजिस्टर करी है, तो इतना ज्यादा नहीं होगा. आप सिर्फ इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न फाइल करें, एडवांस टैक्स होगा नहीं, टीडीएस फाइलिंग भी होगी नहीं, क्योंकि आपका वो इंटर्न्स हैं, इतना कुछ नहीं होगा. ठीक है. जीरो फाइलिंग, मेरे ख्याल से आपकी जीरो फाइलिंग होगी इनकम टैक्स रिटर्न की, और आपका स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट वगैरह का चेक कर लेना एक बार अपने सीए से, कि स्टैट्यूटरी ऑडिट कैसे कब, क्योंकि मेरे ख्याल से वो 31 अगस्त तक की डेट है, तो उसका आप चेक कर लेना। 31 August is the last date for filing for audit and everything. You have to check it out with the CES. Okay, what is required, because see your books, financial books, bank statement books, अगर आपकी कोई सेल है, इनवॉइस की कॉपी, ये सब जीएसटी में भी चाहिए होती है और आरओसी फाइलिंग में भी जब बुक्स क्रिएट होती है तो उसमें चाहिए होती है, ठीक है। फिर आपका आता है जीएसटी, जीएसटी 1, जीएसटी 3B, मंथली और क्वार्टर। जीएसटी जो 1 है वो आपको मंथली एंड एवरी मंथ आपको फाइल करना है, इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द इनकम। अगेन focused on the compliance part, that irrespective of the income, there are certain rules, there are certain GST, certain compliances that you have to do it on a monthly basis. Okay, so GST एक उनमें से एक है जिसका नाम है GSTR 1, ये आपको हर महीने फाइल करना है। एंड मेरी एक खास तौर पर रिक्वेस्ट है आप सब लोगों से, आई रिक्वेस्ट यू ऑल that please have a login ID password of your GST with you, so you can check on a monthly basis that what is going on with the filing part. You can take a see, it's just for your knowledge, it is just for your safety purpose, that the thing, क्योंकि देखिए सर होता क्या है कि नोटिस आ जाएगा, अचानक आपको नोटिस आ जाएगा, आप सीए से पूछोगे, सीए कहेगा मैं देख के बताता हूँ, आप वहां पे चेक करो कि ये फाइल तो ये रखा, तो इसमें नोटिस क्यों आ गया। आप सीए से क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो ना, फिर you can question the CA that when everything is right, why this notice has come up. So he would be also in a check, वो भी अपने चेक में रहेगा कि यार को पता है मैं कुछ हेरफेर नहीं कर सकता, कुछ नहीं कर सकता, मेरे को अपना टाइमली मैनर पे इसकी फाइलिंग करनी है, टाइमली मैनर पे इसका काम करना है, क्योंकि ये चेक रख रहा है। सो इट वुड बी अ बेनिफिशियल फॉर यू rather than totally a layback attitude कि जी ठीक है ना मेरा भाई है सीए वो कर लेगा, मैं नहीं, ये कभी मत करना। कंप्लायंस में ये कभी मत करना कि वो कर लेगा और मेरा भाई है मैं तो उनको दे देता हूँ वो कर लेते हैं। रिश्तेदारी वगैरह सब सही है, लेकिन जहाँ प्रोफेशन होना चाहिए वहाँ प्रोफेशनल होना चाहिए। और कंप्लायंस एक ऐसा पार्ट है जहाँ पे आप रिस्क नहीं ले सकते। 1 रुपए का रिस्क भी आपको लाखों रुपए की पेनल्टी लगा सकता है। आपने अभी देखा होगा, अभी इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट रेस्टोरेंट्स के पीछे पड़ा है, सिंपल सी बात है, एक अकाउंटिंग एरर की वजह से वो रेस्टोरेंट्स के पीछे पड़ गया। तो ये चीजें हैं, इन चीजों का आप ध्यान रखें। उसके बाद जीएसटी ऑडिट की बात आती है, ठीक है। जीएसटी ऑडिट 2 करोड़ से ऊपर का टर्नओवर होगा, आपका जीएसटी ऑडिट बाय डिफॉल्ट मैंडेटरी हो जाएगा, इसको आप चेंज नहीं कर सकते। प्रोफेशनल टैक्स, जितने भी मेरे प्रोफेशनल फ्रीलांसर्स हैं उनके लिए स्टेट टू स्टेट प्रोफेशनल टैक्स का चेक कर लीजिएगा कि कितना है, 300-400 रुपए, 500 रुपए, इससे ज्यादा नहीं होता है, पर ये आप चेक कर लीजिएगा एक बार अपने जो भी आपका है सीए है, या आप वेबसाइट्स पे जाके चेक कर सकते हैं, प्रोफेशनल टैक्स आपको मिल जाएगा, ठीक है। ऐसे ही कस्टम ड्यूटी, इंपोर्ट एंड एक्सपोर्ट, इस पे आप चेक कर लीजिएगा, ये डे टू डे बेसिस पे चेंजेस होते रहते हैं जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ टैरिफ्स एंड एवरीथिंग, ठीक है। कई बार हम 0 कर देते हैं, कई बार हम पे लग जाती है, तो आपको ये अपडेट रखनी पड़ेगी और उसी के बेसिस पे आपकी फाइलिंग भी हो। So again, this is the reason which I am saying that you need to keep a check yourself and CA or CA or any professional who is working with you in the compliance part. Okay. Then we come into the stage 4, which is the Labor and Employment Act. Okay. PF है, PPF है, ठीक है, MP Act है, EPO फाइलिंग है, ESI रजिस्ट्रेशन है, ग्रेजुटी एक्ट है, मिनिमम वेजेस एक्ट है, लेबर कोड्स हैं जो इंडस्ट्रीज रिलेटेड है, जो इंडस्ट्री में काम करते हैं, जिन्होंने अपनी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट सेटअप कर रखी है, उनके लिए इंडस्ट्री रिलेशनशिप है, सोशल सिक्योरिटी है, ऑक्यूपेशनल सेफ्टी कोड है, कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर है, लेबर। जैसे अगर आप आज की डेट में मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द कंपनीज कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर पे जा रही है, majority of government, every person who is related to or having a business related to the government, okay, is going into the contract labor। और परमानेंट नहीं रखला क्योंकि गवर्नमेंट का anyone would like to get a no cost consultation, या देखिए नो कॉस्ट कंसल्टेशन आज की डेट में कोई नहीं देगा। हाँ, ये कर सकता हूं मैं आपके लिए कि मेरे पास 30 मिनट्स का है, मैं आपको 30 मिनट्स अपने दे सकता हूँ, उसमें आप मेरे से पूछ लीजिएगा, मैं आपको वो डिटेल रिज्यूमे एंड में दे देंगे, वो आपको बता देंगे कि नो कॉस्ट कंसल्टेशन के लिए आप क्या कर सकते हो, ठीक है ना, उसकी टेंशन नहीं है, मिल जाएगी, वो मैं कर दूंगा आपको, ठीक है ना। फिर कॉन्ट्रैक्ट लेबर हो गया, और एक होता है पॉश एक्ट, ये कॉर्पोरेट्स में बहुत कंपलसरी हो गया है, ये एक तरह से इंटरनल कमेटी है, प्राइवेट लिमिटेड फर्म में जितनी भी प्राइवेट लिमिटेड फर्म्स हैं जो कॉर्पोरेट से रिलेटेड हैं, उनमें ये कंपलसरी है पॉश एक्ट, ठीक है। यहाँ तक मेरे ख्याल से सबका क्लियर है कि स्टेजेस, फिर 5 and 6 में हम उसके बाद जाएंगे, क्योंकि ये फिर फाइनेंस से रिलेटेड हो जाएगा। आई थिंक एवरीबडी इज गेटिंग द पॉइंट, द लाइसेंस एंड एवरीथिंग, एवरीबडी इज क्लियर टिल नाउ, और इफ यू
Yes.
हैव एनी क्वेश्चंस।
If anyone has a question, you can ask right now. We are taking 1 or 2 questions till now. अभी आपको लाइसेंस से रिलेटेड कुछ भी अगर डाउट्स हैं तो you can ask.
So, sir, like one question which I had was regarding MGT7 and AOC4 was regarding that earlier I had gotten delayed on this. So there's this new notice which has come, for you can file on 10% delay fees you can file. So I had met the ROC as well. So now can I just ask them for a rebate on the same, and can I send them an email for that?
Rebate on ROC? No, no, no. You can't get the rebate on ROC. See, that is 10%. Not, it's not 10% rebate. It's amnesty program which ROC has launched. Okay, it's an amnesty program. Those people, for example, if I have a private limited firm, I forget to do an ROC, MGT7 and AOC4. I forget to do it. Okay, for unknown reasons. Maybe CA has gone. Maybe I forgot. Whatever the reason is. So past 2 years, I haven't filed the ROC. So what MCA has seen in particularly, that the number of people who are missing the ROC filing has risen. So they have bring up this amnesty program under which you have to pay only 20% of your penalty fees and everything, and you can do the filing. You can't get any sort of a rebate as of now. No, no rebate. गवर्नमेंट कभी रिबेट नहीं देती है, गवर्नमेंट अर्ली फाइलिंग के लिए रिबेट दे सकती है, लेकिन पोस्ट फाइलिंग के लिए तो पेनल्टी ही लगेगी, उसमें नहीं हो पाएगा।
Yeah, that is what I'm asking. I paid the penalty. Recently, I filed. So, can I get a refund on that penalty? Because they have now launched this amnesty program where it is not even 20%, but it is only 10%. So, can I claim on that now?
No, you can't. You can't get it. Unfortunately, no, you can't get it. You have paid it, and after that, the policy has come into the effect. So, unfortunately, Ravi, you can't get the refund on that. Unfortunately, this is how the government works. Once the policies come into the effect, before that, whatever you have done is zero. Okay. So, I'm sorry, Ravi, that you won't be getting any refund for that. Okay. Anything? Any more questions?
Okay, should I read it out? So, hello Anurag. I had recently started a tech consulting firm just 1 month ago. It's a sole proprietorship firm, and we have done a revenue of around 2.5 lakhs. We are not GST registered, just we have MSME registration. Should I really consider GST for now, or should I also register a company under OPC LLP firm? I don't want to take compliance burden for now. We are focusing on sales part for now. I'm also planning to take Dubai and US clients in upcoming months. So should I incorporate necessarily? Also, what are the other compliance while dealing with foreign currencies RBI regulations?
So see, now it totally changes. Now it totally changes. See, you have one person company as of now. Okay,
So
it's a,
proprietorship.
yeah, sole proprietorship, and you have a 2.5 lakh as of now turnover. Now you are looking for expansion in future. Okay, so I believe 1 month has gone by in when the entity was registered. 1 month max. In 1 month you have earned 2.5. So I would suggest you go with the GST registration. Okay, just to be 100% on a safer side, you go with the GST registration, and I prefer you go with the private limited firm. If you have one more entity, one more person with you who can become a director, you should go with the private limited firm, because in future, as you are in a technical consultation, so you would need a funding for that. You would be getting some sort of projects, some sort of products would be coming in the future as well for the technical part, AI-based products, which are currently very much into the demand. So I would suggest you go with change into the private limited firm rather than going for an OPC or a LLP or a partnership firm, because you would need a funding, and it would be happy funding. It would be not a smaller one. I would suggest you go with the private limited firm. Any more questions?
I am Anurag.
Yeah.
Yeah, same situation for me, but my registration is done um, 9 months ago.
Okay.
Okay, till we do not generate any type of revenue, we are building our own product, which is called agentic AI. It
Okay.
is time of situation we are announcing the product on next month.
Okay.
Okay, it is type of situation we need to be register the GST, or if it is not required.
No, not required, because you are in a developing phase of a particular product. You're not into the sale or something like that. So
Yes.
why do you need a GST as of now? In future, when your product gets into the market and you get a proper response, you can get, because see, in 3 days you will get the GST registration. So that compliance is very much easy. You can get in 3 days max. It is a compulsory that for the GST people to issue the GST immediately. So I would suggest you make a product, okay, complete
Okay.
it, do the marketing, okay. Once you get a proper response and you feel that my turnover can uh, get above the threshold, when you're confident about it, go ahead and do the GST registration.
Actually, I want to be ask you one more question, because to stabilize my company,
Mhm.
with the product, we are doing some type of extra process as well.
Okay.
Every month we are generating 50,000 amount, 50,000 per month.
Okay. Okay.
This is my situation currently.
Okay. So see, if you are generating 50,000 as well, okay, let's
Yeah.
say 50,000 approximately 6 to 8 lakh rupees annually.
Yeah.
Max to max, let's say 12 lakhs. Let's give on a higher
Yeah.
lakh, 12 lakhs. Okay.
Right.
So again, still you're not under you're still under the threshold of 20 lakh if you're in a tier 2 or a tier 3, and if you are in a metropolitan, it's a 40 lakh. So still you are under the threshold. So no need to worry about it. Unless and
Okay.
until you have you know signs that yes, we can suddenly my sales can go up in next 3 to 4 months, and we can
Okay.
go above the threshold. Once you get that kind of signs or that kind of hint from the market, I would suggest you then you go with the GST registration.
Okay. Got it. Thank you, Anurag.
Thanks very much. Okay, now we go with the financial and specific sector-based compliance. Okay, so as for the financial, as I mentioned, in a private limited firm, mandatory statutory audit is mandatory, ROC filing is mandatory, board meetings, AGM mandatory. These are mandatory things that for a private limited firm, they have to do it. Okay. Then we have in the pharma or manufacturing sectors, then we have a cost audit that needs to be done. These are mandatory. नो इनको आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि छोड़ना मैं करूंगा, बाद में देखते हैं, बाद में देखने का है ही नहीं, ये कंपलसरी है और ये हर साल होंगे. ठीक है. ऐसे ही सेक्रेटेरियल ऑडिट भी होता है जो लिस्टेड एंड लार्ज कंपनीज के लिए होता है. जो कंपनीज लिस्टेड हैं इन फ्यूचर, जैसे मान लीजिए आपकी कोई कंपनी मार्केट में लिस्ट होती है तो सेक्रेटेरियल ऑडिट भी होगा. ठीक है. इसके अलावा इंडियन अकाउंटिंग सिस्टम और IFRS अकाउंटिंग स्टैंडर्ड्स के अंडर भी होता है, बट वो एक सेपरेट एंटिटी हो जाती है. वो तब आता है जब आप एक्सपेंड करके US UK में जा रहे हैं. ठीक है. यूरोपियन मार्केट या अबाउ इंडिया से बाहर आप अपना बिजनेस कर रहे हैं, तब आपका IFRS अकाउंटिंग आ जाएगा, क्योंकि वो इंटरनेशनल स्टैंडर्ड है. ये तब आएगा अकाउंटिंग, क्योंकि उनके क्राइटेरिया है वो आपसे मांगेंगे, तो आपको उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है ना। तो ये है आपका फाइनेंशियल एंड अकाउंटिंग बेस्ड स्पेसिफिक कंप्लाइंस, ये तो मैंडेटरी है, इसमें आप ये नहीं कह सकते कि नहीं मेरे लिए नहीं है, ये मोस्टली सबके लिए है, सबको ही करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। ओपीसी में नहीं होगा, एलएलपी में नहीं होगा, ठीक है। और आपका जो है पार्टनरशिप फर्म्स जो ट्रस्ट से रिलेटेड है उनका बिल्कुल अलग होता है ऑडिट, वो ऑडिट नहीं जाते हैं, अगर उनका 1 करोड़ 2 करोड़ से ऊपर है तो ऑडिट नहीं जाएगा ट्रस्ट, ठीक है। ये सिर्फ प्राइवेट लिमिटेड फर्म्स, ठीक है, या जो कन्वर्ट होंगे फ्यूचर में प्राइवेट लिमिटेड फर्म्स, उनके लिए है कि आप प्लीज इन चीजों का ध्यान रखें, ये सब चीजें इंपॉर्टेंट हैं और ये डेफिनेटली आपको करना पड़ेगा, इसमें कोई इफ एंड बट्स नहीं है, ठीक है। अब आता है, आपने अपनी अकाउंटिंग भी चेक कर लिया, आपने सब कुछ कर लिया, अब आपका सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक है। जैसे अभी सर थे सत्या जी जिन्होंने बताया कि उनका टेक कंसल्टिंग है, ठीक है। तो ऐसे ही सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक जैसे बैंकिंग एंड फाइनेंस से रिलेटेड है तो आपका आरबीआई का है, ठीक है, फिर उसका केवाईसी होगा, एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग एक्ट के अंदर आएगा, फेमा के अंदर आएगा, अगर आप फॉरेन इक्विटी फॉरेन एक्सचेंज में ट्रेड करते हैं तो उसके अंदर आएगा, ठीक है। ये सेक्टर स्पेसिफिक है कि आपका जो भी डोमेन है उस डोमेन में आपका इस सेक्टर में, बैंकिंग अगर फाइनेंस सेक्टर तो उसके अंदर आपको आरबीआई की केवाईसी और एंटी मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग और फेमा के अंदर आपको करना पड़ेगा, अपना ध्यान देना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। ऐसे ही कोई लेट्स से कैपिटल मार्केट से रिलेटेड है, ठीक है, इन्वेस्टमेंट एडवाइजर्स हैं, तो उनको सेबी के अंदर एलओडीआर करके इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग होते हैं, ये ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा इन चीजों का कि इनसाइडर ट्रेडिंग के लिए सेबी थोड़ी स्ट्रिक्ट है, ठीक है, तो इनका ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा। इंश्योरेंस में अगर कोई है कि जी मैं तो सिर्फ इंश्योरेंस में ही डील करता हूँ, तो सॉल्वेंसी, मार्जिन्स और आईआरडी का लाइसेंस, ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट है, ठीक है। ऐसे ही कोई लेट्स से इंटरनेट टेलीफोनी सिस्टम है या आपका टेलीकॉम से रिलेटेड है, कोई अपनी कंपनी खोलना चाहता है हु इज इनटू द टेलीकॉम कि भाई हम तो भारती और जियो से अच्छा सर्विस प्रोवाइड कराएंगे, तो ट्राई के अंडर उसको रजिस्टर करना पड़ेगा, वहां से उसको लाइसेंस मिलेगा, वहां से वो डिफाइन करेंगे आपको टैरिफ वगैरह, वो वहां से होगा। ऐसे ही कोई एग्रीकल्चर बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट है या कोई एनवायरमेंटल बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट है या एनवायरमेंटल बेस्ड डोमेन में अगर आप लोग काम कर रहे हैं तो मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरमेंटल अफेयर्स एनसीपीसीबी यानी सेंट्रल पॉल्यूशन कंट्रोल बोर्ड, ठीक है, एनवायरमेंट इन्वेस्टिगेशन एजेंसीज, इनसे आपको क्लियरेंस लेनी पड़ेगी, तभी आपका बिजनेस, आप एंटिटी वर्क कर पाएंगे। जब आपको इनसे क्लियरेंस मिलेगी, इनसे एक सर्टिफिकेट मिलेगा, वो आपके पास होना चाहिए, तब आप बिजनेस कर सकते हैं। ऐसे ही हेल्थ केयर से रिलेटेड आपको ड्रग अप्रूवल्स और सीडीएससीओ, ठीक है, इनसे अप्रूवल लेना पड़ेगा, तब आप हेल्थ केयर के अंदर कर सकते हैं। मेजोरिटी मैंने देखा है कि हेल्थ केयर के लिए आजकल एआई बेस्ड प्रोडक्ट्स आ रहे हैं कि भाई हम तो आपका एआई है वो आपको बता देगा, आपको सिर्फ फीड करना है इन्फॉर्मेशन, वो बता देगा, ठीक है। फिर भी मैं प्रेफर यही करूंगा इन फ्यूचर अगर आप हेल्थ केयर में हैं तो आप अप्रूवल्स देख लीजिए, किसी आपके सीए या सीएस या आप हमें कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं, हम भी आपको हेल्प कर देंगे इन अप्रूवल्स के लिए, कोई बड़ी बात नहीं है, ठीक है ना। लेकिन आप इन चीजों का ध्यान रखिए कि हेल्थ केयर से रिलेटेड अप्रूवल्स होने चाहिए आपके पास, ऐसा ना हो कि आपने अप्रूवल नहीं और आप काम कर रहे हैं तो आपकी लाइसेंस जेल भी हो सकती है, पेनल्टी भी लग सकती है, प्लस आपका जो भी आपने मेहनत करी है वो कोई भी एक्वायर कर सकता है, एक्सपेक्टेड पर्सन ऑन, क्योंकि आपके ऊपर लीगल एक्शन है तो कुछ भी हो सकता है उसमें, ठीक है ना। तो प्लीज ट्राई टू अवॉइड दिस काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग दैट यू आर नॉट गेटिंग अ लाइसेंस, यू आर नॉट गेटिंग अप्रूवल्स एंड यू आर वर्किंग ऑन इट इज अ मेजर रेड फ्लैग इन अ कंप्लायंस सेक्टर, ओके। ऐसे ही अब डेटा और आईटी से रिलेटेड जो भी मेरे फ्रेंड्स हैं हु इज वर्किंग इनटू द डेटा सेंटर्स और डेटा रिलेटेड वर्कलोड, हु आर वर्किंग इनटू अ डेटा रिलेटेड, दे हैव टू follow the MeAT IT Act, DPDP Act 2023. DPDP Act 2023 is in progress. Please go through that. Okay, we will do the session for this DPDP Act in future, but you go through that. It's definitely compulsion with a major up to 50 or 20 to 50 to 60 lakhs of penalty if not complying to that. So all those who are working or having a data, they have to secure that data. They have to focus on it, and DPDP Act is very much important, which will come into the effect, which is in progress and come into the effect by 2027. So all the companies who are into the data, जो डेटा से रिलेटेड कुछ भी काम कर रहे हैं, उनको इसमें डीपीडीपी एक्ट के अंदर कंपल्शन है. आपको ये एक्ट अच्छी तरह पता होना चाहिए. आपकी
जी.
एक छोटी सी गलती 20 to 25 लाख का हो जाएगा. Okay, so I believe
जी.
everything is clear about this DPDP Act and other approvals.
Yes.
Okay.
So I have one doubt.
Yeah.
So actually, I want to start my own energy drink brand. So can you please let me know what are the major compliances in India for that?
Major energy drinks. So first of all, if you are coming into the energy drink, so you have to go with the FSAI license. First thing, you are going to manufacture it.
No, we are outsourcing.
You are outsourcing it. So
To our
FSAI license
manufacturer.
is compulsory. You have to go it. Okay. Shops and Act license should be there. Okay. These
Okay.
two are very much important as of now.
Okay.
So now I come to the data and cyber security. Okay, those person who are into those entrepreneurs who are into cyber security or a data part. Okay, it is very much important to go through these acts. IT Act 2000, which is the Cybercrime and Data Provision Act. You have to go through that. You should be aware what kind of cybercrime definition of the cybercrime and data provisions. Okay, then we have a DPDP Act, Data Fiduciary Obligations. These are to secure the data. Okay, as of now, you have seen that many times data has been put into the market. Okay, your the vital informations are there into the market. So the DPDP Act is to protect that particular thing. And if it is breached by let's say for example XYZ company, there would be a severe penalty. It might be the shutdown case for that particular company as well, and you have legal obligations. Legal act would be there, and you might go to the jail as well. So you have to keep that these two in mind when you are going into the cyber security and data. These are very much important for every individual who is into the IT or who is handling data. And majorly, all of us we are into the data part. So DPDP Act is a mandatory for all of us. Okay, we are also making us compliant to the DPDP Act. Okay, it might take time, but we are working on it. We are almost done with that. So if we are doing it, you have to do that as well. Okay, now for those who are into the fintech, okay, NBFC, who are into the fintech and NBFC, RBI security framework. It is very much important. You have to be compliant on that. You
Yeah.
can't ignore that. Okay, those who are in banking and fintech. Okay, as well as in the guidelines, 6 hours incident report, CERT, 6 line incident report should be there within 6 hours. So if you are into it, you have to. This is related to again data. If there is a breach of data, you have to do it as per the DPDP Act. You have to do it in 6 hours. Same SEBI is there with their cyber security and data localization is requirement. So you have to be like data localization requirement means that you have to have some sort of storage for the data, okay, in a local area like in India only. Basically, the localization means in India you have to have a data in India as well as if you're looking for a data storage in abroad, that is also valid. But still, you require data localization in India as well. Okay, this is which is related to cyber security. It is very important. Okay, so we have to work it out on that. Okay, now we go to the annual compliance cycle. As I mentioned, monthly GST return, TDS, PF, ESI payments. You have to do it. There is no if and buts. Okay. Again, quarterly TDS return, advance tax, board meetings has to be done. Half yearly reports, stock exchange post reports has to be done annually, like 31st of March is there, so it's an annual thing. Income tax returns, ROC filings, statutory audit, AGMs, annual general meetings need to be there. These are for private limited firm. For LLP, OPC, okay, and sole proprietorship, your income tax returns and your GST filings mandatory. Up to keep it up to date, keep it filed. Posh is like when you have like employees on a regular basis, then only you have a 50 plus employees, then Posh is mandatory. Posh is mandatory when you have a 50 plus employees. Okay. Now for that and internal review compliance calendar must be you all. I would again suggest you that compliance calendar should be on your desktop. Okay, for every entrepreneur, every startup, every if you are a shop owner, you should have a compliance calendar in front of you. Every it is a mandatory because see, if you have a compliance calendar in front of you, you would keep a check. You would keep a check on your accounting team. You would keep a check on your CA. You will keep a check on your CS. So if a check is there, there is a very low, very low probability of getting any kind of a issue related to penalties or notices. Okay. Now I come to the ninth, non-compliance and penalty. See, as of now, income tax has been changed. Okay, there are income tax violation penalties up to 300%. As I have told you, income tax, GST, these are very much active. Okay, departments, and the penalty is much higher. Okay, like 300% penalty on tax evaded, 18% interest plus monetary penalties. Okay, for GST file, GST defaults. In ROC, there is a late fee and prosecution of directors. So late fee is on a per day basis in terms of ROC filing. Okay, in terms of labor law, imprisonment and fine, again we have a labor laws, you have to follow that. Then these are for the industries or manufacturing unit where you have to do it. Okay, now SEBI is again his groundment of gains, that means your gains would be vanished. Okay, there would be a penalty on that and monetary penalties. Okay, so these kind of things has to be checked. That is why I said that please check what is going on, how your CA is working, how your professionals are working, whom you have hired. So accordingly, you have to act on it. Okay. Now I come to the last stage, that is compliance, maturity, and governance. CMS is there. Okay, internal audit committees, risk management frameworks, ESG, BSRB reports. Okay, and whistleblower policies, ethic hotlines, third party vendor and compliance programs. These are for private limited firms. Okay, because see, they have a huge number of compliance that need to be followed. So everything should be there in place. Okay, everything should be there in place. You don't have to go here and there. So that is why I say keep checks on CAs. These are their responsibilities. CAs and CS, these are their responsibility to keep a check on these compliances and help you out to get out of it. It's basically a simple thing. Now see the kind of regulated bodies which are in India. 8 or 9 regulatory bodies are there. Corporate Affairs, Central Board of Taxes, Central Board of Indirect Taxes, Reserve Bank, Security Exchange, Insurance Regulatory, Telecom Regulatory Authority, Ministry of Electronics and IT, Employees Provident Fund. You see 8 or 9 types of regulators are there, in which I haven't mentioned 2 or 3 because it would be a huge thing. So even CAs and CS are overburdened with this kind of a thing. And if you can assist them, it would be a plus point for you as well as for him. Sometimes professionals might forget, as such a large number of regulators are there. We have a large number.
Yes.
Sir, if we have a GST number but not high sales, so if we do file some transaction from individuals in sales because we didn't collect tax from them. So you are saying that you have a GST number, not in a high sales, and if you don't file some transaction from individuals in sales because we didn't collect taxes from them, it would be in your invoices, right? And now automation is there. Once invoice is generated, it would be automatically listed. It would be automatically shown into the GST software. So you have to do it. You can't hide it anymore now. It is, see, the thing is that you didn't collect it. You have to make a payment for that. GST won't be doing that. You have to make a payment for that. You can't avoid. You can't avoid it. Tell something.
Okay.
Okay. Jialul Haq says,
If somebody is missing any uh, GST filing, so till when can they file it without penalty?
you are looking for the extension, right? Let's say, for example, GST 9 annual filing has not been done. So 15 days of grace period is there. You can file it with 15 days with the minimum penalty. There would be a penalty, like as I told you, on a per day basis, there would be a penalty for ROC and GST.
Okay. If monthly filing is not done, so can next
Monthly filing, monthly filing can be taken care. You can file it on the any time. There is no penalty on that. You can file it at any point of time. There is no
Yes.
issues on that.
okay.
Okay,
Mm.
you can do that. Monthly filing is something which you can, let's say, for example, this month we haven't filed. There is a grace period of 10 to 15 days. You can do that.
Mm.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, if I see a question states that tell me something about FDI funding. Most startups stuck without the guidance. FDI funding and foreign direct investments. Okay, first of all, if you are a private limited firm, you have to go through the compliance. Okay, do the due diligence. Ask your CA to do the due diligence before that, before applying for that. Due diligence is mandatory. They would do it. FDI would definitely do it. To approach the FDI, you have to do certain valuations. Okay, and investment report is there that bank that particular report is required, and that is from a certified investment banker. That is the
Mm.
report is required. Okay. Apart from that, there is a checklist which would be provided by the FDIs. But see, FDI would only invest where there is a government has given them go ahead. Not in every sector you can do that. Like if you are into a defense sector, 100% FDI permission is there. But you have to show the product, you have to show the compliance. Okay, and best of all, it is if you have a private limited firm.
Okay.
Okay, and basically it should be 1 to 2 year old firm. Then only FDI would come into the picture. Otherwise, for the startups, FDI would try to go on a funding part, and that to be on a milestone basis.
Mm.
It won't be on a like project based funding. It will be on a milestone basis. So if you were looking for a project-based funding, you should have a project in front of you. Okay,
Mm.
MDP should be there. And if you're looking for a milestone basis, then yes, but still, due diligence in which your financial, in which your shareholding, in which your every aspects of book, okay,
Yeah.
accounting book and everything would be there.
Mm.
Okay.
Mm. Got it.
My question is like we are developing agent AI integrated in IoT that actively collect commercial data. Okay, boosting sales in this. We are still developing a product. Yes. We have a provisional patent tool. So, Amrinder, I would prefer you go with the DPDP Act first. Okay, because see, it's a commercial data production, insights, and replenishment alerts. boosting sales for the MCG. So you would be having a huge database. Okay,
Yes.
DPDP Act, follow the DPDP Act and act accordingly. If you need any assistance, we are there to help you out. Okay, you can contact any legal team. If you are DPIIT registered, you can help. You can get a help avail there as well. They have a certain criteria for assisting assistance. Okay, I would again, Amrinda, I would suggest you to go with the DPDP Act. How safe is this to launch? Yeah, it is 100% safe to be launched. Okay, because see, once the product is in the market, then you have before the product comes into the market, like you launch the product into the market for the sales purpose, then you require a DPDP. Then you have to go with the DPDP. As of now, I believe, you are in a testing phase, right? So yeah, you can test it. That's not an issue. You can test it, but still, I would request you to please go with the DPDP Act.
Okay.
No, yes, we are DPIT startup and incubated. The best thing if you are incubated, so you would have they have provided you some sort of mentorship in DPDP Act. Go with that. DPDP. Yeah, Amrinder, I would prefer you. You can launch the product. You can test the product. Okay, beta testing is allowed. Okay, beta testing is allowed. But when you go into the commercial part, like going for the sales and everything, you have to be DPDP compliant. Okay.
Okay.
So you can only request. You can only request to do the ask the vendor to help you out. Okay, because see, it's you can only get the input benefit once he has done the filing. Okay, you can only request in the GST part to do the filing from the vendor part. If you are MSME registered, then also you can pressure him. Apart from that, nothing can be done in terms of this.
So कैसे pressure कर सकते हैं if you are MSME registered? Like, is there any legal way to do it?
मैम देखिए, इसका इसका सीधा सिंपल सा एग्जांपल है कि आपने जीएसटी फाइल नहीं, आपने जीएसटी फाइल करा, ठीक है, मैंने नहीं करा, मैं दिखाई नहीं रहा। जब मैं दिखाई नहीं रहा तो आप कैसे उसको इनपुट पे दिखा सकते हो? आप क्लेम कर सकते हो, वो बोलेगा उसने फाइल ही नहीं करा, आपको प्रूफ करना पड़ेगा ना जीएसटी अथॉरिटीज के सामने। वो कैसे प्रूफ करोगे? आपके पास डॉक्यूमेंटेशन होना चाहिए कि ये है, तो फिर जीएसटी उनके पीछे पड़ेगा कि ठीक है, आप ये कह सकते हो मैक्स टू मैक्स, भाई ठीक है, फिर मैं जीएसटी में कंप्लेन कर देता हूँ, आपने आप देख लियो, मेरे पास तो प्रूफ है कि मैंने तेरे को दिया है, तू नहीं पे कर रहा है। ये बेस्ट होता है, इसमें इसमें लीगल एस्पेक्ट्स आ जाता है। बेटर है कि म्यूचुअल अंडरस्टैंडिंग में सॉर्ट आउट हो जाए।
Okay.
20 years. MC, I will give you the answer later. Let me first complete it because it is almost 6:19 and still we have almost 50% more. See, I'll give you the answer for that. Okay. So the compliance burden. See, 1450 regulatory obligations are there on an annually basis for the MSMEs and startup. I have just written MSME, but for every individual who is working into the market, have these obligations. Okay, 13 to 17 lakh is a per year cost of the compliance. It is a huge amount as of now because you are into the startups and some are into the pre revenue thing. But this cost is for who are already settled in the business, okay, who are earning huge amount like 1 CR or 2 CR. So for them it's a penny, but still the compliance cost is this much. It can't go beyond that. 48 plus registers and 59 types of inspections. See, so if you are trying to avoid these kind of inspection, you should have a compliance check all the time. You should have everything all the time. Inspections can be done at any point of time in terms of labor laws, in terms of POSH, in terms of your shop and establishment acts, anything which is related to manufacturing, anything related to contract labor, anything related to uh, what we say construction or something like that. Inspections would be done. Even GST inspectors are right now into the field doing the GST inspections. Okay, so you have to avoid the complexity. Okay, and for that, I would suggest you to please have a team. Okay, let's say for example, I would suggest you that in the terms of let's say for example, you have a CAS, you have a professional who's working it, and still you are getting some sort of a notice. So he might be on overburden, he might be not aware of certain things. So what you can do is you can take a help from advisors which are into the market, consultants which are into the market. With the nominal fee, you can hire them and they can work in a tandem with your CA rather than opt it out, rather than going uh, against firing him. You can work in a tandem. These are regulatory, Dwarka, these are regulatory obligations annually, which is faced by the MSMEs. These are not the compliances part, these are regulatory obligations. Let's say, for example, in FSAI, you have something, okay, there is an certain obligation that you need to done. It could be a minute obligation, it can be a major one. It totally depends. So you don't have to fear it. Okay, you have to be 100% sure that the thing that you are doing, the thing your team is doing in the compliance part is up to the mark. You won't get any kind of obligations. These 1450 obligations annually is received who are like into the market and saying that I have my brother, I have my sister, मेरा भाई है, मेरा भाई सीए करता है, वो देख लेगा, मेरे को तो जरूरत नहीं है. ये उनके लिए है बेसिकली, कि जो ये कहते हैं ना कि मेरा भाई है. आप अब जैसे आपने बोला कि यार मेरा तो भाई है सीए, मैं तो उससे करवा लेता हूँ, वो कर देता है मेरी फाइलिंग, आरओसी भी वो कर देता है, वो भी कर देता है, सब कर देता है. भाई आरओसी फाइलिंग तो हो जाती है, फाइलिंग भी हो जाती है, लेकिन जब ऑब्लिगेशंस कुछ एक छोटी सी मिस्टेक या एक छोटी सी कंप्लेंट आपके टूवर्ड्स, एक डेफिनेटली एक ऑब्लिगेशन आ जाता है रेगुलेटरी की तरफ से कि भाई ये देख तेरे खिलाफ ये कंप्लेंट है, इसका आंसर दे दे. तब आप क्या करोगे? अब आप पे इंस्पेक्शन बैठेगी, ठीक है ना. वो इंस्पेक्शन होती 59 टाइप्स की, कोई भी कभी भी कहीं से भी आ सकता है. अभी आप जिसको रेगुलेटरी ऑब्लिगेशन मान रहे हो, इनकम टैक्स डिपार्टमेंट से भी आ सकती है कि जी आपके एक हाई कैश हाई वैल्यू ट्रांजैक्शन है, इसकी ऑब्लिगेशन है, वो भी तो एक रेगुलेटरी है, उसकी भी ऑब्लिगेशन हो सकती है कि इस ऑब्लिगेशन को सॉर्ट करो. तो ये है. ठीक है ना, ये है. नाउ कंप्लायंस चैलेंजेस फॉर स्टार्टअप्स. ठीक, अवेयरनेस नहीं होती आज की डेट में. हम ये सोचते हैं कि मेरा भाई है वो कर देगा, मेरे दोस्त ने मुझे बताया था मैं उसके थ्रू करवा लूंगा. ठीक है, हम अपने पैसे लगाते हैं फाइनेंशियल रिसोर्सेज में, हम अपनी जेब से पैसा लगा के काम करते हैं. फंडिंग है, ग्रांट्स हैं, आप उनको क्यों नहीं यूज करते? एक सिंपल सा सर्टिफिकेट लेना है, उसके बाद आपको ग्रांट्स मिल जाएंगी, लोन्स मिल जाएंगे, फंडिंग मिल जाएगी, तो आप उनको यूज करो. डीप टेक, मैं बताता हूँ, एक मिनट. हाँ उत्कर्ष बोलो यार आप.
Yeah, first of all, thank you very much, Anurag, for your insightful conversations. My question is like, as we see, like in today's times, like startups get overwhelmed by too many registrations, compliances. So can you just list some registrations they can actually follow, like in order to just don't get distracted or something like that. So just please list out those.
Could you repeat it? I didn't get your question. What
Sure,
exactly
sure,
you're
sure.
trying?
Sure. In today's time, like multiple startups actually get distracted with too many compliances or too many, registrations. So can you just give me like some registrations like that can actually be followed in the early stages, and those are mandatory.
Yeah, Anurag, can you? I think, Utkarsh, there was a list that was shared in the earlier slides. So you can
Mm-hmm.
definitely, that is all the compliances were listed out, and the certificates and licenses sector wise and stage wise also, and company type wise. So that I think can be followed, and Anurag ji can
Sure, sure,
elaborate
sure,
on.
sure, sure. Yeah, definitely. I'll get into it.
Yeah, sorry. Due to some reason, XYZ technical reasons, I was out. Yeah, Utkarsh, sorry. Did you get the answer, or you still need?
Yeah, earlier I think you have explained it, and I was actually not present at that time. So I'll just check it out. Yeah.
No, no problem. In case you, if you want, you can. I have Ridhima will be sharing the details to contact us. You can contact us at any point of time. Okay.
Sure.
No need to worry
I
about.
have, yeah, I have the second question actually.
Okay.
So yeah, my question is like many startups actually create, products from AI or some softwares from AI vibe
Mhm.
coding. So how can they actually, follow the compliance under the DPP, like DP Act to avoid high penalties for data mishandling? Because in AI software, there is too much too much hard things actually to be followed. Like AI softwares can't be actually you know be handled properly if they are actually vibe coded. So how we can handle the data penalties over here?
Okay. Utkarsh, see, the first of all, the thing is, what I understand from the question is that you are mixing AI product with the data safety part. Okay, DPDP Act. Okay. See, AI works on a simple principle. Whatever LLM, large language module, provides the information, he would be acting on that. Okay. Once your AI product is into the market, definitely you will get some sort of a data, right?
Hmm.
Once that data is into comes into your storage, then it is your responsibility that that particular data should not be shared without the consent. It should not be breached. Okay, these sort of things, that is your responsibility. That comes into the DPDP Act. You are making an AI software, it hardly matters to the as of now, there is no particular regulatory about the AI part. But yes, once it collects the data, once you collect the data, then you have to come into the effect. Then DPDP Act is there. Okay.
Got it, got it. Yep. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
Satya. Yes, Satya.
Anurag, same question, but I have one extension for this question. We are using the AI models, LLM models from OpenAI or Anthropic. We are taking to API keys and we are utilizing on our product. But when it comes to the data
Satya, your
security
voice
part,
is breaking. Satya, your
whatever the
voice is
data
breaking.
is coming into our storage, it is also storing the data on the LLM models. That might be the data security laws will be taken place, right?
Satya, your voice is breaking, so I was not able to hear it out. Could you write it down so I can give it the answer on that particular thing?
Sure.
Yeah, please write it down. Thank you. In the meantime, let's go with the compliance challenges for startups. As I mentioned, limited financial resource, you are burning your own financial hard-earned money. Okay, you can use grants are there, fundings are there, okay, loans are there on a discounted, like Pradhan Mantri, some sort of a loan is there, in which you don't have to, you know, get any 20 or 30% you have to pay, rest is diluted. Okay, so these sort of schemes are there, government related, that you can follow. Okay, rapid policy changes. As of now, just you can see yourself, income tax change is into the effect. GST is doing on a monthly basis, and now and then there is a change into the tax slabs. There is a change into some sort of a policy. Okay, these are some hardcore challenges which, yes, you have to face. Your professional working colleague has to face, who are doing this compliance for you. Okay, and the complex documentation. Yes, there is a large number of documents that is required when you're doing the compliance. So we are trying, the government is trying to do paperless and trying to reduce the documentation, but still some things are mandatory, so you have to follow them. Okay. So, okay.
Yeah. And Ragji, can we complete the slides by 6:45?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, okay. So let's, okay. So we start with the e-commerce markets and key compliance requirement. Consumer protection compliance is there. Okay. Like seller name, address, contact details, country of origin, products, refund, returns, cancellation policies, and grievance redressal mechanism should be there. Okay. Then we have a marketplace versus inventory module for the FDI rule. Okay. 100% FDI rule is allowed in the marketplace model. Okay. Marketplace cannot own inventory or direct sell products. It should be marketplaces like that. You have created what we say a mall, and then you have a different kind of suppliers which can sell on that particular, like Misho, Amazon. These are called marketplaces. Okay. And if you are building a marketplace, yes, you can get an FDI 100% funding. And important most part, you can't be you can't influence any product specific. You can't be specifically sponsoring a particular product. Yes, you have to be a GST compliance. Okay. Tax collection at source is 1% on the supplies of the platform. GST 8 return, GST compliant is there. Okay. IT Act, intermediary liability. Okay. Technology Act 19 to 2000. Okay. Due diligence, as I have told you, must exercise due diligence. Everything, every small aspects of your entity would be checked. Okay. Illegal listings, you have to check who are not registered or who are not who are not legally listed would be there. Okay. Safe harbor protection, that is major reason for that illegal listing to be removed. Okay. Product and seller transparency, the product in the marketplace, what kind of a product is there. Okay. And the seller should be clear. This is the seller. The information should be there. This is the seller product, complete information. What are the prices? What are the taxes? Everything should be there. Okay. Any sort of counterfeit products, that is your responsibility. Whoever is building this marketplace has to sort it out. Okay. As again I have told you, data protection is compulsory. India is very much focused on data, and now data privacy policies. Okay. Data collection, what kind of a data you are collecting, there should be a consent before before this data. Okay. Consumer interference and ethical practice, dark patterns, manipulative UX. Okay. These kind of things should be avoided. Okay. Cross border and import compliance, as I have told you, custom rules apply. Okay. Country of origin, you have to disclose it. Okay. In India, Bharat certificate, BIS certification for certain products is a quality certification that you have to do it. Okay. Now I come to the gig economy compliance. This is for the companies who are like Misho, okay, Zomato, okay, and delivery products, okay, or yeah, basically delivery products or aggregators, okay, X, your platform aggregators and something like that. Your what we say, Uber, something like that. So these are for them. Social security is compulsory as of the code on social security 2020 Act is into the effect. You have to do it. Okay. App-based work should be there, and a formal labor framework. So labor law would be coming to the effect. Okay. Now the major thing is, if you are bringing some sort of a startup which is into this kind of economy gig, into the gig environment, so you have to do it. Okay. Ride hailing like your Rapido must contribute 1 to 2% of the annual turnover to social security fund for gig workers. Most of the companies are following. Okay. Still there I can see that majority of the companies are not following. Okay. 5% cap payments made to workers. Okay. So this 1.2% of the annual turnover towards social security fund. Okay. for the gig workers, there is a cap for particular 5% payment to be made to workers on an annual basis. Okay, which we can say in a corporate world we call it as a annual bonus or something like that. Okay, then yes, e-shram registration is compulsory, mandatory, and you have a UAN number which is related to your EPF. Okay, that should be linked with the other worker registration. These are the part of the worker registration that needs to be done. Okay, eligibility for social security minimum 90 days on with the one platform. Okay, or 120 days across all the platforms. Okay,
Yes.
mandatory welfare benefits, data reporting transparency, state level regulations. It totally depends on state to state. Okay, what are the risks? The major risk is penalties, interest. Okay, when you do it, you have to do that. Penalties and interest are there, legal notices are there, business restrictions are there, loss of investor trust.
Okay.
That is what I mentioned. Compliance, it should be on a green check, not an orange, not a red. It should always be a green check.
Okay.
Otherwise, you will lose a lot and gain very little.
Okay.
Okay. Now, as a strategic advantage, what kind of strategic advantage you have if you are doing a compliance with the green check? Investor would come to you with the great confidence and try to give you funding. Okay, improves your credibility into the market. Okay, credibility for an entrepreneur is much more important. Okay, your legal risk would be almost to none. There would be 1% or 2% would be there, but still you won't be having that much of legal risk because you are doing what is written by the law and you're working on that. So it would be done. And as I've told you, that funding and partnership would be there. Okay, now what investor evaluates? Financial transparency, tax compliance history, legal structure, and corporate governance. Like financial transparency, your financial accounting would books, GST filing, it comes into the tax, income tax return of the company, income tax return for the yourself, directors. Okay, financial, your books are clean. Okay, your legal structure are clean. Okay, and the corporate governance, ESG, and something like that would be there. So when you do these type of check, when you click on all these four options, then the investor would come and without any question, he would fund you. He would fund your project. He would fund your company. He would keep a trust on you, and that is very much important. Okay, so as of now, the role of compliance in the professional world is from, as of now, I can see there are filers more than strategic advisors. Okay, so I would suggest you go for the strategic advisors than the filers. See, filing can be done by even CS can do it. Even a CA would be doing it. A normal who has just passed a CA would be doing it. But a strategic advisor is much more important. Who would give you the advice on a time-to-time basis? That right now you have done this. Now we can go with that. This can be done like this. Okay. So you let's say for example if you are going for an upscaling, okay, you have you need some sort of a guidance. How can I do an upscaling? Should I go with the funding? Should I go with the debt loan, or should I do with ESOPs, or should I do some equity sales? What kind of thing should be done? So that comes into the effect with the strategic advisors. Risk management, what kind of a risk you as an entity you can do it, or what kind of a risk as entrepreneur you can take it. Okay, regulatory technology implementation. As of now, AI is there, so advisors would advise you that see AI is into the market. You can, yes, you can upgrade your product, and these are the regulatory changes that needs to be done, and we can do it. So this is what the advisors are responsible for, and I would suggest you to go with the strategic advisor rather than going with the filing part. कि फाइलिंग हम कर देंगे वो इम्पोर्टेंट नहीं है. अरे भाई, फाइलिंग से ज्यादा इम्पोर्टेंट हमारे को और भी चीजें हैं कि हमें आगे ग्रो करनी है. कैसे करेंगे? तो आपके पास कोई ना कोई ऐसा बंदा होना चाहिए ना जो आपको बता सके कि भाई ये है. तो वो चीज़ है, आपको इन चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना पड़ेगा. सबसे ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट, जैसे मैंने हर बारी बोला है, आप अपने रिकॉर्ड सारे अप टू डेट रखें, अपने कंप्लायंस टूल्स को ट्रैक रखें, एडवाइजर्स हायर करें, ठीक है, और एक कल्चर बनाएं कंप्लायंस का कि आपको एक पता होना चाहिए भाई मेरे कंप्लायंस है, और अपना अप टू डेट रखें. ठीक है, टैक्सीलेंस हम आपके स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर बन सकते हैं, हम वही हैं, स्ट्रेटेजिक पार्टनर ही हैं, ठीक है। हम वो नहीं है कि भैया ठीक है हमने आपको बोला कि लाओ जी हम फाइलिंग कर लेंगे, नहीं, हम फाइलिंग से लेकर आपको टाइम टू टाइम गाइड भी करेंगे। कंप्लायंस मैनेजमेंट हमारा है, हम हमारा अपना एआई प्रोडक्ट है इनबिल्ट, जो कंप्लायंस को चेक रखता है, आपको टाइम टू टाइम व्हाट्सएप पे नोट मैसेजेस, ईमेल टाइम टू टाइम ऑन अपडेट मिलती रहेंगी। रिस्क मेडिकेशन एंड प्रिवेंशन ऑफ पेनल्टी, रेगुलेटरी गैप एनालिसिस, ये टाइम टू टाइम बेसिस हम 6 मंथ्स और 8 हाफ ईयरली और एनुअली हम रेगुलर बेसिस पे करते हैं अपने क्लाइंट्स का, ठीक है। हम अपने क्लाइंट्स को इन्वेस्टर रेडी बनाते हैं, यानी आपका कंप्लायंस वगैरह चेक होगा, आपका सब चेक होगा। देखिए आज की डेट में क्या है कि आज की डेट में आपको बहुत सारे ऐसे मिल जाएंगे जो कहेंगे कि मैं आपकी इन्वेस्टर से बात करा दूंगा, ठीक है। प्लेटफॉर्म्स हैं ऐसे बहुत सारे, इन्वेस्टर से बात करा दूंगा, भाई इन्वेस्टर से बात तो करा दोगे, ठीक है, प्लेटफॉर्म्स अच्छा है आपका, आपके वो सब बढ़िया है, पर मेरा जो काम है वो तो मैं अपना 100% करके जाऊँ। प्लेटफॉर्म तो तभी आपकी हेल्प कर पाएगा ना जब आप अपना काम 100% करके जाओगे। तो आपका वो काम कैसे होगा, वो इन्वेस्टर रेडी होगा, वो आपको आपका जो सीए है या सीएस है जो भी प्रोफेशनल है वो आपकी हेल्प करेगा कि आपको इन्वेस्टर रेडी रखे। इन्वेस्टर पूछेगा आपसे, इंस्टेंट आना चाहिए। टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन आज की डेट में एआई बेस्ड बहुत सारे कंप्लायंस की प्रोडक्ट आ चुके हैं मार्केट में, चेक करें, नहीं होता है पूछ लें, हो जाएगा। मैं अगेन वही कहूंगा कि अपने पास एक स्ट्रेटेजिक एडवाइजर्स रखें, ठीक है, जिससे आप कर सकें। हमारा काम क्या होगा, हम आपसे कहेंगे, हम अगर आप मेरे से पूछेंगे एज अ टैक्सलेंस कंसल्टेंट कि काम कैसे करते हो, हम आपसे बात करेंगे, बात करने के बाद आपकी सिचुएशन समझेंगे, फिर उसके अंदर इम्प्लीमेंटेशन करेंगे, फिर उस इम्प्लीमेंटेशन को मॉनिटर करेंगे और उसके बाद उसको ऑप्टिमाइज करने के लिए, उसको ग्रोथ बढ़ाने के लिए फिर उसको ऑप्टिमाइजेशन पे ले जाएंगे। हमारा अभी ये जो स्कीम है, स्कीम कह रहा हूँ मैं, अभी ये जो फोकस है हमारा वो है स्टार्टअप्स, एमएसएमई, ई कॉमर्स, फ्रीलांसर्स, गिग्स, प्लेटफॉर्म, और अभी जो ग्रोइंग कंपनीज हैं, यानी जो प्री सीड से सीड और सीड ए पे जा रही हैं फंडिंग पार्ट पे, उनके फोकस हमारा अभी इन पे है। हमारे पास है ऑलमोस्ट 50 to 60 क्लाइंट्स ऐसे हैं जो ऑलरेडी ग्रो कर चुके हैं। अब हमारा फोकस इन पे है कि इनको ग्रो करना है, ये मार्केट, ये इकोनॉमी को ग्रो करना है, ताकि ये भी फ्यूचर में अपने आप को उस लेवल पे देख सके जहां पर ये अपने आप को देखना चाहते हैं, ठीक है। की टेक अवे ये है, कंप्लायंस को हमेशा याद रखो यार, ये एक लीगल ऑब्लिगेशन नहीं है, ये आपकी ग्रोथ का एक सस्टेनेबल फाउंडेशन है। आप अगर अपना कंप्लायंस 100% रख रहे हो, आपकी ग्रोथ को कोई नहीं रोक सकता, अनलेस एंड अनटिल आपका ध्यान बिजनेस पे नहीं है, आपका ध्यान एक्सवाइजेड कहीं और है, तभी आप होगे। अगर आप 100% बिजनेस पे हो, आपका कंप्लायंस 100% है, आई कैन बेट ऑन दैट कि आप ग्रो करोगे ही करोगे। इन्वेस्टर अपने आप आएगा, आप अपने आप ही स्केल अप करोगे, ठीक है। मार्केट में ट्रस्ट बिल्ड होगा, आज की डेट में ट्रस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है, ट्रस्ट बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है, स्कैमस्टर्स भरे पड़े हैं लेकिन ट्रस्ट ब्रोक हो रहे हैं। तो अगर आप 100% है तो आप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है ना। बाकी अब ये है कि मेरे एंड से तो हो गया। अब मैं एक डेविड का क्वेश्चन था और एक सत्या के क्वेश्चन थे, राइट, उनका जवाब दे देता हूँ, ठीक है, और बस फिर मेरे एंड से हो गया, ठीक है। अब देखो यार डेविड, व्हाट यू हैव आस्क्ड इज नाउ DPIIP वैलिडेट एक्सटेंडेड टू 20 years, okay, and DPI mentioned deep tech startups. What is the definition of deep tech? Okay, now start with the deep tech definition. Okay, see, it is more into advanced scientific or engineering innovation. Deep tech means, as the word suggests, deep into the technology department. So like if you are doing some sort of a scientific innovation or engineering technology, okay, doing some sort of an R&D related to technology, okay, like building some sort of an LLM, it's a deep tech, okay, building some sort of a software related to finance, you can consider it as deep tech, but it should not be copied with something, you should have an innovation, okay, sort of it creates its own novel intellectual property, okay. So this is the thing. And as far as your question about DPIIT recognition is concerned, okay, yes, you have to submit some additional documentation. like technology, what kind of a technology is there, you have to describe it, some R&D details, and important, first of all, very important, if anyone who is into the technology part, like some of my friends have informed me that they are building an AI product, प्लीज आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू ऑल कि अपना जो भी प्रोडक्ट आप बना रहे हैं एआई रिलेटेड, उसको या तो ट्रेडमार्क कराएं या उसका पेटेंट करा लें। अगर ये आपका अपना प्रोडक्ट है, आप अपने अपना बना रहे हैं, आप किसी को थर्ड पार्टी को नहीं दे रहे, खुद बना रहे हैं, तो प्लीज उसको ट्रेडमार्क या पेटेंट करवा लें। ये स्पेसिफिकली सारे टेक्नोलॉजी वालों के लिए है। बेसिकली आप कोई भी नया प्रोडक्ट बना रहे, जैसे वो एक पर्सन थे जो अपना आउटसोर्स कर रहे थे जूस, अगर इन फ्यूचर वो अपना जूस का मैन्युफैक्चरिंग डालेंगे, तो आई वुड रिक्वेस्ट यू टू प्लीज, आप सबसे पहले अपने आप का वो जो जूस आप बना रहे हैं, जिस भी XYZ चीज से बना रहे हैं, उसको आप ट्रेडमार्क करें या पेटेंट करें। क्योंकि क्या होता है, कॉपी पेस्ट आजकल बहुत इंडिया में चल रहा है कि उसने जूस बनाया है तो मैं भी उसी के जैसा जूस बना दूंगा, तो आपने जो मेहनत करी है वो आपकी उस वक्त वहीं खत्म हो जाएगी, ठीक है ना। प्लस आपका जो सेकंड क्वेश्चन था डेविड की वैलिडिटी अबाउट द फ्रेमवर्क, लाइक 10 years versus 20 years, okay, for deep tech the turnover limit is of 300 crores, okay, so yes, you can under the deep tech startup you can go for that 20 years of incorporation, but you have to register yourself as a deep tech startup. Okay, if you are going with the normal startup incorporation in DPIIT, okay, then it would be a 10-year. Okay, so it only gives you the benefit of turnover limit, nothing more than that. Okay, and what about Satya, right? Satya has some questions. We are using LLM model like OpenAI and Anthropic to build AI product. When we check the data processing, it is storing on two parts, one the product database and second on LLM model. As per the, I secure the data and not according to. See, Satya, the thing is, the kind of data we are using is personal data. We are talking about the personal data. We are not talking about the product-based data. DPDP Act is for the personal, like for my data which I have logged in and shared to you, like Aadhaar, PAN, something like that. These kind of a data is for under DPDP Act, not everything. Okay. When an AI product is used externally, LM provides an open air interpretation. See, as of now, DPDP Act is focusing on this particular thing only. That is why they have given us 2027 to fully implement it. It is in the progress. So as of now, what you are saying is how does the DPDP Act address the data protection and compliance in such an architecture? That is in future. Let's say till now, you have to create a storage, a safe passage for that. Okay, nothing more than that. As of now, in future, let's say in next 6 months, there would be what we say, some sort of an information where you will get the how to protect this address and the compliance in such architecture. That information would be shared in the future. As of now, they have introduced into the market that this is the DPTP Act, and by 2027, every individual, every entity has to be compliant on this. Okay.
Okay, I think Abhishek ने hand raise किया है. Abhishek, आप अपना question पूछ लीजिए.
Yeah, Anurag. No, I just wanted to ask one question that let's say I'm building any SaaS product and for testing purpose, I want to test in the actual market. So for that too, like we have to be concerned about data thing, that IT compliances thing.
Yeah, into the IT Act, you have to be, as per the IT Act, you have to do it. Okay, you have to be 100% secure that particular data. You have to be an in-house. You can store it in your in-house. You can't share it to anybody else without the consent. The major hurdle is that the people share the data without the consent of an individual who has been part of that testing or whatever thing it is. So you have to take a consent from the person who is doing the testing for you. and on the basis of that, you don't need to worry about, as you are in the testing phase, just save the data, don't share it to anybody else without the consent.
Okay, thank you.
So consent, like how do you take the consent of a user? You just write you consent to the
No,
data thing?
when you see, when you collect the information
Mm-hmm.
over the internet or over that particular product, you have to just put that yes, you are giving me the consent to store the data. That's it. Nothing more than that.
Okay. So
It's a
now
it's it's a sort of a digital thing that yes, I have the consent. That's it.
okay.
So let's say I am building a product for like B2B actually.
Okay.
So for B2B, like they will be collecting the customer data. Basically, it's not directly like yeah, they'll be collecting the customer data. So for that, how can we do that? Like
Who would be the end receiver of that particular data?
hand receiver would be that client basically.
No, no, no. The data that, let's say, for example, you are collecting data from me. Okay. I am sharing the data with you. So who would be end receiver from the data in B2B? Not from the client
It's
perspective.
uh, I'm building a product basically for like automation part kind of a thing. So for saloons basically, okay. So they'll be collecting the data of the customer like to like automate their flow basically like about building that bill generation on all these things they'll be doing. So obviously they'll be taking the customer data for those part. So in that aspect, like how we need to be careful in that part.
Who would be the client? Who would be getting benefitly monetary on that particular data?
Client only, client only. They'll be taking the subscription of the product from us.
They would be taking subscription of a product from you.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
correct.
at the end, you would have a data with you.
Yeah, correct,
Apart from that particular person who would be a middleman, or who can be anybody who would be taking care of the bringing you the data. At the end,
correct.
you have to keep that storage,
Huh. I'm
right?
having the, all the database storage. I'll be having.
Yeah. So it is your responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, I say this is the last question by Sanskar. Sanskar, आप question पूछिए, and then we'll have to wrap up the session.
Okay. So one small question. I have a small task that from some US agency I just got, and it's like in my family. He's running some company, so he needs to collect the data from US shops, colleges, and stuff. And I used to get the data from curriculum guides and various specific areas. So I don't scrape anything. I just put those curriculum guides, those PDF that they have put it all over their website. I just took the data from their website and compile it and share it back to the company. Does that break anywhere? Like any?
No,
Do
no,
we
no.
need any
See,
protection of data?
you are collecting. You are just sharing the information on the basis of the data, right? You
Correct,
are not
correct.
storing the data with you, and
No, we are
that too,
storing.
it is a US client database. First of all, you need to understand it's a US client database. So the person who is providing you this information of the US clients, he must be compliant to the policies of the US for that particular data.
Yep.
You are just sharing the information on the basis of that, right? For example, there is a question that has been asked by the US client, and you are just giving the answer to that. So it's just a consulting. You are not taking the information, the important information from the client prospect and storing in India.
I am storing like in my personal account. If I'm storing, is it some kind of issue?
Then if you are doing on a freelancer basis, then you have to uh, keep in mind that in future there might be consequences. It totally depends on entity to entity. We have
Okay.
to go through with that.
Okay. Got it.
One last question, Anurag. Sorry.
Yeah.
One last question. What are the funds we can go for the in the starting because we are just starting actually in the starting phase only. So what are the funds scheme we can go for government fund scheme like not from the investor side like government fund scheme what we can go for?
See, you can contact your nearest local bank. Okay, there is some Pradhan Mantri Guarantee Yojana. Okay, first thing.
Okay.
Uh, that is 20 or 30% you have to be secure, and the rest is a collateral free loan service, something like that. First thing is that. Second, when you register for DPIIT, you can go with this Secure India Fund Scheme. Okay, Fund of Fund Scheme is there. Okay. Apart from that, there are different MSME fundings are there, grants are there. Like if you go for an incubation, okay, under Atal incubation centers, there would be a grant for them. I think Ridhima is sharing on these grants on a regular basis on the platform, so you can go and check that out. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
So I think it has been a long session and we have to wrap this up because our speakers availability and even the team's availability is restricted today. So I wish you all very good and safe and compliant businesses. And do you, if you do wish you have some more questions because we did have some more interest coming in, but we have to stop it right now. We have a 30 minutes call slot on Monday available with Mr. Anurag only for YZ community members. The link is in the chat. You can just book that and he'll be happy to advise you personally. You can join the group if you want to post a question in the group chat, which we have created specially with Mr. Anurag for compliance and all the consulting part. So he'll be happy to answer in the group as well. Rest, keep in touch with us. We'll be coming with more sessions next week. And Anurag ji, if you would, like to say something, I would love to thank you सबसे पहले आपके टाइम के लिए आपने बहुत सारा टाइम दिया आपने बहुत अच्छी नॉलेज दी जो कहीं पे भी ऐसे आसानी से नहीं मिलती है you keep searching on Google it's all vague and it's not specifically for India right it's very difficult to figure it out ourselves so thank you so much आपने इतनी patiently सबको सब कुछ समझाया and आप please उनके answers अलग से भी कीजिएगा अगर somebody reaching out to you
Definitely,
and
definitely, definitely.
definitely anything you would like to say.
It was wonderful. It is totally wonderful to be a part of YZ and such a beautiful audience who are very interactive. I have done some webinars with other platforms as well, but see, no questions and specifically, it's a very dull information. But here, I feel that they are trying to understand, and yes, I give a thumbs up to YZ. Keep it
Thank you.
up and grow. Definitely, I
Thank
am
you
there
so
to help you out in any possible way. Okay.
Thank you so much, Anurag. And thank you everyone for coming today. We wish you a very happy weekend and take care. Goodbye, good night. And there's a feedback form being shared in the chat. Just fill that up if you have any feedback for the session today. Lingesh, can you please post the feedback form?
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. Just put your feedback if you have anything and any other webinar that you would like us to, conduct next week. You can DM us. You be a part of the YZ community, and we'll be bringing more such knowledge sessions to you. Thank you, Sanskar. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you, Lingesh. Everyone, you can fill this feedback form because you are here with us. I am sure the webinar was helpful for you. Thank you so much. Good night. Bye bye.